We are seeing a lot of software-driven innovations in the automotive industry. Where do you think is the automotive industry headed in the near future?
Right, Smishad. So absolutely right. So software plays a significant role in innovation today, not just in automotive, in every other aspect of industry, right? So software constitutes some 75% of the time and cost in a typical product development cycle. 25% is hardware and rest of the stuff.
Right.
As hardware gets commoditized, the secret sauce, the differentiation comes in with software. Automotive, it's even more so. So you'll be surprised the number of lines of code in a typical car of the future, or even the present, right? Upcoming cars, it's going to be 100 million lines of code. Right, it's huge, right? Compared to what used to happen probably 10 years ago. The software is significant factor in success of OEMs and tier ones. So as the industry goes forward, the key areas that I see are going to be the focus of the industry are going to be electric vehicles, hybrid electric vehicles.
Right.
It's going to be autonomous vehicles. So everybody's building one now. And it's also going to be connected car, telematics, intelligent car kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Not just cars, the entire automotive industry is moving towards these kind of three different kind of dimensions of the industry.
Okay.
So very significantly, what I see software. So I see artificial intelligence and machine learning gaining attraction. So most of the events, conferences you see are focused on how to use machine learning with all the performance of the hardware. It's like growing, it's beating Moore's law, and we see software really playing a key role over there using these kind of latest and greatest technologies. And in automotive, the industry is going through, especially in ADAS, it's going through a transition. It's going through an evolution. It's not standardized like H.264, HEVC, which is like standard output, standard input kind of formats. It's an evolving space. Every tier one, every OEM has their own algorithms. They have their own innovation practices. The way they integrate various sensors is different. The way they build their algorithms is different. The way they qualify is also different. So there's a lot of proprietary stuff, advanced stuff being developed. Certainly a lot of innovation happening led by software.
So, Feroz, what kind of trends and innovations can we expect to see in ADAS?
ADAS. So one of the most exciting areas today in the fastest growing segment in the industry is automotive, especially ADAS. Exciting times now. What we are seeing is the democratization of the ADAS technology. Earlier we used to see Mercedes-Benz or an Audi or BMW having these technologies. But now what we have now is democratization of that, as in the entry segment, mid segment of cars are going to have many of these technologies used in all these luxury cars. So we see a lot of trends in this segment of ADAS. The number of sensors that are getting used in the cars is growing at rapid pace.
Exactly.
So it's 200 plus sensors in a typical car. And traditionally, we used to have radars on these cars, which used to do some kind of collision avoidance, pedestrian detection kind of technologies. Now comes in newer techniques with software-based vision processing. Right? So vision processing is one major area of focus. Then there is radar. Then there would be LiDAR. Then there are other thermal, ultrasonic kind of sensors coming in. And that brings in with its own challenges. So you have multiple sensors now, need some kind of a sensor fusion technology. So you kind of combine the intelligence of all these technologies and then give an intelligent output to the driver. Other trend is the system is going to change from a warning system to an actuation system. To an actually So level 2, level 3, level 4, and all the way to level 5. So no longer it will be like a message to the driver or waking him up when he's sleeping. It's actually going to take control of the car and take him to a safe place or avoid accidents. So that's
like auto braking technology.
Auto braking technology. So a lot of things happening, very interesting stuff. So really excited. Significantly, artificial intelligence is coming in a big way in this technology as well. So that's another area I would see this industry, this segment of the industry going to.
So in all, it would be making our roads much more safer.
Much more safer.
And avoiding accidents.
Avoiding accidents.
We talked about trends and innovations, but could you tell me which specific hardwares and software technologies are driving these changes, and how is the auto industry preparing for these changes?
Right, great question, right? So hardware, so in automotive is primarily being led by proprietary architectures. Because the current generation architectures of standard architectures like ARM or a proprietary DSP, so these are not capable of executing the high kind of data analytics load comes in with the video analytics and data analytics and stuff. So the industry is clearly trending towards proprietary architectures for vision processing. There are specialized accelerators being put into the silicon right from the semiconductor vendors. Then there is GPU. The GPU is getting bigger and bolder. NVIDIA with teraflops of operations coming up with multiple chipsets.
Yes.
You also have Intel, you have FPGAs, so a variety of different architectures coming up to support this space. So one significant characteristics of this technology is the large amount of data crunching that's required and different types of data crunching that's required. So one clear trend that's coming up in the industry is of the heterogeneous architecture. You no longer can have a single very powerful kind of an ARM or a DSP or a proprietary architecture. You have a combination of each of these cores sitting on a single system on chip, right? So a lot of SoC is coming in that direction. That's I would say hardware-wise a very significant direction. Each of these going to the next generation with more and more powerful cores as we go forward. Software-wise, so obviously to handle different kind of hardware, you have to have different kinds of software come up. But one thing that I have been saying, very significant innovation that's happening is on using machine learning, convolutional neural networks, different kinds of AI techniques being employed rather than depending on human logic or human-defined logic. It's the machines that decide what decisions the car has to take. So that's a significant direction that the software technologies are taking. Apart from that, RTOSs, hard real-time operating systems. So these are also going to be something which are going to be quite in demand. So that said, how the industry could prepare, it's very, very, very good question. So what we have seen in probably a couple of decades ago, we used to have the OEMs kind of outsourcing or spinning off the electronics. It was non-core to their industry. But now the scenario has changed. Automotive electronics is going to be 50% of the car cost, right? And 80% of the innovation that's happening in a car, an automobile, is going to be in automotive electronics. Now that brings back automotive electronics to the center of the radar of the OEMs. So what we are seeing in the industry, so we are seeing more and more OEMs focusing on automotive electronics. They want to have more say. The hardware is kind of outsourced or kind of goes to the tier 1 hardware supplier, but OEMs are getting a greater and greater share and greater say into what the electronics would like, what are the features, which technologies they want to invest, which platform they want to invest. It's no longer black box off the shelf kind of stuff.
Exactly.
And another significant aspect over here is standardization. So we are seeing standards like OpenVX coming in, earlier OpenCV. So that's also a trend. If in this industry, this evolving technology has to really scale up, there's a requirement that these OEMs, tier 1s collaborate and have such kind of standards so that these algorithms can be scalable and to the next level.
Right. So how does eInfochips contribute to the transformation stories in the auto industry?
Great question, favorite one. So eInfochips has been into this industry for a long time, but we would really want to add additional and extra value into this industry going forward. So we have identified a clear strategy for that, right? So there are 3 categories: the semicon vendors, the tier 1 suppliers, and the OEMs. So the semicon vendors, we want to be a partner for early silicon platforms. We want to get engaged early, get hold on their proprietary cores, on their software, on their SDKs, and that really helps enable that platform to rapidly go into the tier 1 suppliers systems, right? So that's one kind of value add. We would really want to build some IPs on their platform, port proprietary OSs, or work on different kind of software. So that's one segment we want to leverage our strengths into. The second category is the tier 1 supplier category of customers. So we could help them on various kind of services. It could be hardware design services, software design, could be something like a mechanical design for prototyping, model-based simulation. We could do cloud solution. We could do a variety of other kind of embedded and cloud kind of services for the tier 1 suppliers. That's one significant area of our focus, the tier 1 suppliers. The third category is obviously the OEMs, the car manufacturers. So we could help them with the rapid prototyping, building some kind of prototypes to prove some concepts. That's one category. We could also collaborate with them in doing certain kind of subsystems design, provide them with some IP, some kind of software stacks, or whatever is required, building on latest technologies. We could even help them finalize their next generation platforms, hardware platform, software platform, OSs. We could do such kind of consulting services as well. So at eInfochips, we are excited to be part of this automotive journey, and we would really love to contribute big time for this in this direction.
Okay, great. That was wonderful.
Great.
So thank you, Feroz. Thank you for taking the time out to speak to us.
Pleasure.
Thank you.